I'm so honored today to be joined by a true American hero, a Navy World War II veteran, 98-year-old Pete Carrao. Pete was born in San Diego on November 3rd, 1925, and just 3 months before graduating high school, he was drafted into the U.S. Navy. And on the afternoon of December 7th, 1941, when attending a football game at Balboa Stadium in San Diego, it was announced that Pearl Harbor had been attacked. After attending boot camp in San Diego, he went on to radio school, served on ships throughout the Pacific, spending 3 weeks in Hawaii, and then later in the Marshall Islands. When the bomb was dropped over Japan to end the war, he was discharged in March of 1946 after serving 2 years in the U.S. Navy. Pete was one of 70 million people to serve in World War II, and he's one of only 150,000 that now remain in the United States. After the war, he returned to San Diego and became a commercial fisherman, and then managed a grocery store where he worked with his wife of 64 years. He was born the same year as Johnny Carson, Paul Newman, Dick Van Dyke, Angela Lansbury, Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, Rock Hudson, Richard Burton, and the very funny Peter Sellers and Sammy Davis Jr. Thanks for joining us today. We're so honored that you're here. We hope you find some inspiration, motivation, and education. And we can't thank Pete Carrao, my incredible neighbor, for joining us today here in the Sports Deli.
My name is Pete Corrao. I was born in San Diego in 1925, November.
And you're one of the oldest living World War II veterans.
Yes, I believe so.
And tell us about Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor, well, I was there. I was on to be there back there for the 80th anniversary last year, and I had the privilege of taking up the wreath at the cemetery representing 16 million people that have passed away that was served in the service back then, and it was an honor.
And are you going to France, I heard?
I'm going to France on May 31st for D-Day. And on D-Day, that'll be 79 years. And on that same day, in 1944, I didn't know that France was being invaded, and I was going overseas to South Pacific, where I spent a year and a half to the day. I left in 1944, came back in December of 45.
And what can you tell us about your experience there, and how you and your fellow countrymen stayed in touch over the years, and what that, looking back on it, what it means to you?
Well, it was an honor to be able to do that. I mean, two things in my life that I am very proud of is serving my country back then, and that was 18 years old. And I was in the service from 18 to 20, 2 years, and I went to boot camp, went overseas for 18 months, had enough points when I got back from the war that I got out real quick. And at that time, you were discharged on the amount of points you had. And the more points you had, and I gained more points by being in the war zone. And that's the way it worked. So.
And what was your responsibilities?
Well, I was on a water tanker, and what we gave is water to ships that were damaged and couldn't supply their own water. And then we got water from tankers from the United States or someplace once a month or so. Plus, we used to get water from aircraft carriers because they could produce enough water to service a city of 50,000 people. And we got water from them, and we got water from big battleships. We got water any way we possibly could, but water was a necessity. It was just like fuel. And if you didn't have that, it was tough.
Yeah, if you didn't have the water,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
absolutely. They probably needed more water than normal, too.
Yeah. But
and then how long did that last?
Well, I mean, I was overseas 18 months to the day, and I overseas, basically, it took time to get there. I was overseas in the Marshall Islands, and Eniwetok atoll for probably 17 months of the 18 months I was overseas.
And then how long did you serve total?
I sold around 2 years exactly.
2 years,
Yeah.
and then after you were done serving, what was your life like? What did you do? And
After the war, 1946, when I got out of the service, I became a commercial fisherman, and I served. I went fishing in San Diego for 13 years, tuna fishing. At that
Wow.
time, 3/4 of the world's tuna was packed in San Diego, and I did that
Amazing.
for 13 years. And when my children got to be 2 and 4, I thought, do I want to make a lot of money or do I want to raise a family? And I'd rather raise a family at that time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We could all learn a lot from that
Yeah.
these days. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
But
And
like
then
I
you
s-
met your wife where?
I met my wife through her family. Her brother and I were the same age, and we were buddy, and I met her that way.
Wow.
After I got back home, when she it was a couple grades behind me in school. When I got back from school, I'd been gone a long time. And I met the family, and we started dating. And for a while, we dated, and all of us. She was in her last year in high school, and we dated, going with each other. And one day she says, "You care if we don't go date this weekend?" And I said, "Why? What for?" So football player wants to take me out. And I said, so I said, "Okay." And it was 2 years later
Wow.
from that time that I saw her again. And then we got together after
Wow.
2 years, and we ended up getting married. And we were married 64 years.
Wow.
And
That's amazing.
and then I'm living in the same house.
That's amazing. Did you get grilled by her dad?
Oh no, her dad and her mother and I got along excellent.
So he never said, "You better take care of my daughter," or
Oh,
else.
Oh no, they knew it for granted I would be taking care of her. They were a real good family.
And what about your parents? Did they serve in World War One? Or?
No. My dad was born in Italy. He came to the United States in 1914. Lived in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for
Wow.
2 years, and then moved to San Diego. And has been living here ever since.
So he was a cheesehead.
What's that?
He was a cheesehead.
Yeah.
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 He must have loved Vince Lombardi. And
Yeah.
so it was. Are you a sports fan?
Yes.
What's your favorite sport?
I mean, Padres are pretty good. I really enjoyed the Aztecs this year. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
What a run by them.
Yeah.
Brian Dutcher is doing a great job over there.
But
taking
last
over
night
for
I watched
Steve
a
Fisher.
Padre game and it made me sick.
Well, they had a great year last year.
Yeah, well,
It's a long season.
It
you
says a long season, but I mean, last night was a joke.
know. Yeah, they definitely.
They're playing again. I'll give them another day.
Absolutely.
They're playing at 105 today.
Yeah. So then, after you did your fisherman stuff, then what? What was going on
Well,
after
when I
that?
retired from fishing, I opened up a sporting goods store for my son. It's called
Wow.
Sports USA,
Oh wow.
and it didn't work out too well for him. And after I retired from the grocery business, that's what I did after I quit fishing. And I managed for Big Bear Markets. And I was a manager there, and I worked for them for 23 years.
Big Bear Markets.
Big Bear Market,
Yeah.
yeah. And that was a really good deal. And from my son's business, it was quite a large size store, and I condensed it down to a smaller store where I just sold fishing supplies only, and that worked out real good. And I did that for a few years after that. When I went to the swap meet one time to unload some stuff that I had in my store on a weekend, I realized that I did more business on a weekend at the swap meet, and I ended up being there for about 18 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
Yeah. So
And what was the secret to your success of being married for 64 years?
I don't know. I'm a heck of a good guy.
I'd say.
I know that I'm proud of my life. My age right now,
Oh, wow.
my eyes are going down the tube, but I enjoy life. I mean, two things in my life I'm very proud of is serving in the military. And, 18, you don't know what you're getting into.
Right.
But be sure to grow
Especially
up in a hurry.
back then. Yeah.
Plus, I was a blood donor. I
Oh.
donated 179 pints of blood to babies in Children's Hospital.
Wow.
Now that comes out to almost over 22 gallons of blood. And
That's amazing.
that's
179. Wow.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
a lot of blood.
And so, let me ask you this: what's your message to the world and to the military in terms of where we're at now versus back then?
Well, right now it seems like people really don't care. Nothing really bugs anybody. But I mean, World War II, that was a different generation. I mean, you 18, 19 years old, by the time you was 20, my age, I mean, I really grew up in 18 months overseas. You don't realize,
Right.
I mean, life was different. It was
Sure.
different. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, back then, people didn't want to go to war. They went to foreign countries, you know, and now, I mean, I don't know what would happen if we ever got into war now.
Yeah, kids are raised differently.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's a lot different.
it's a lot different. I mean, you took a little more pride back then. Now it's I don't know.
People take things for granted, more entitled.
Now it's just fun and games more.
Yeah, we definitely don't appreciate the history as much as we could in a lot of ways.
Then in my lifetime, those things have changed. I mean, like, talking about the price of different things. I mean, things were a lot cheaper.
Right.
I can remember being a kid. I used to buy gasoline for 12 cents a gallon.
Unbelievable.
12 cents a gallon. Yeah,
That's
a
amazing.
bottle of milk cost you a nickel or 6 cents.
Delivered by the milkman.
By the milkman.
Right.
And the milk had cream on the top.
That's right. That's amazing. So do you have a favorite restaurant here in San Diego?
No, I mean, I like different restaurants. I mean,
Do you have a favorite food?
I like Mexican food. I like Italian food. I mean,
Beautiful.
it's just
Whatever you're in the mood for.
Whatever I'm in the mood for. Yeah, if it's good, no matter what kind of food, if it's good eating, I'll try
Amazing.
it.
Well, you've definitely, Pete, won at the game of life, man. If I could have next, as they say in basketball, I got next, and we should all be so lucky to live such an amazing, fruitful life of service, and you've seen the fruits of your labor. It's truly amazing. So let me ask you one last question. If you could have anybody at your dinner table that you've never met before, past or present, dead or alive, who would you like to have at your dinner table with you?
Oh, I don't know. It's but right now, I would think if you're just saying something, I like to have a few people at my dinner table.
Okay, so what few people?
I like to have my grade school teachers. I still remember their names, and that's been
what an impact they had on your life.
That's be about 87 years ago. When I graduated in 1936 from grade school.
Wow.
I still remember the teacher's name.
Shout out to them. What were their names?
The principal was Peter Snyder.
Wow.
My music teacher is Miss McLeod. My 6th grade teacher was Mrs. Strictly. My 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Walker.
Wow.
And my science teacher was Mrs. Krause.
That's incredible.
And I still remember something Mrs. Krause said. She used to say, "Can you fill a glass of water fuller than full?" And everybody said no. But no, she proved that you can. And she filled the glass of water completely full, and then took a paper clip and laid it on the water, and it raised the water above the glass level. The water didn't spill out, so that's fuller and full. I still remember that.
That's incredible. So anybody at your dinner table that you've never met before that you'd like to, either past movie stars or like Johnny Carson or, anyone that you've never met before that you would be like, wow, he or she would be cool to have at my dinner table?
Well, I mean, there's, I don't know,
Someone fun?
The last person, when you stop and think about it, there's been a tremendous amount of presidents in my life.
Yes.
And the last one I think who was actually really a president was President Roosevelt.
Yes,
and
a lot of people would agree with you.
Oh yeah, and he was 4 terms, and he would have still been, if he wouldn't have passed away, I think he still would have been president.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was different. And
he was definitely different.
Yep, very different.
Very famous quote too.
I mean, in my life, a lot of things have happened, and there's so many things, good things. But I mean, I've been blessed.
Absolutely.
My eyesight is going down the tubes a little bit, but other than that, my memory is still there. I'm blessed for that. I can remember, tell these stories like I'm telling you right now.
Well, thanks for sharing your story with the world. And any last words of wisdom for people out there to be successful in life?
Be good to each other.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, we were not good to each other, even people on different sides of the aisle. There's a lot of division and conflict, and we should all come together and work to find some middle ground in this country, because the way it's going, it's not working the way that it used to.
It's not working the way it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, politics, not politics, but vote for the guy you think is going to be the best for the country.
Right.
You might think that nobody likes Trump. He did a lot in the 4 years in office, and I believe he's going to make it again this time.
No matter who it is, just vote for the person you believe is best for this country, and whether that's Trump or anybody else.
As far as I'm concerned, the last guy that did any good for our country who was in office was Trump. No, a lot of people.
And what's your reasons for that? Because a lot of people would, because you're very experienced, like you said, you've had a lot of.
I think he's been good. I don't know if he took any pay or not. Money didn't mean anything. He did things for the country. I think if we get him back in there, he's going to finish what he started. And I think that's what we need.
A lot of people would agree with you.
Right.
Well, continued good health and love, and again, appreciate you joining us today for a few minutes. Any other last words of wisdom?
Yeah, let everybody start loving one another. It's unbelievable how much killings and stabbings is going on. I mean, it's a fad. One guy does it, and everybody thinks they can do it also. And it's get to be a joke.
You mean the mass shootings?
Masses,
yeah, it's just very sad.
Killing children.
It's unreal.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
Life don't mean
sad.
nothing to some people, but I guess they're sick and they don't know what they're doing. So
yeah,
a guy in his right mind doesn't go out and start killing people for no reason or
Yeah.
other. Something went wrong with them.
absolutely. I agree with you. All right, Pete. Thank you so much. And man, so many people are gonna love hearing your story, and this will be out there for people to hear and see in the years to come. So thanks for joining us. Anything else? Anything else? So. Yeah. Anything else about your life or lessons about life that you want to share with everybody?
Be good to each other.
Absolutely. Amen. All right.
Respect your elders.
Yeah, it's funny you said that, because when we were growing up, I'm a little younger than you. It was always yes, coach, or yes, ma'am, or yes, sir, and
yes, sir. You're right.
And then something's been lost in that area. I agree. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and you're exercising. It's amazing. And what are you, 96 now?
Pushing 98.
98. Oh my God. So what are you going to do on your 100th birthday?
Oh God. Something you might joke about. I think I'm going to be around.
Yeah, so do I. Do you have any big plans? I always said that if I was alive on my 100th birthday, I want to go golfing at Torrey Pines.
Well, I played Torrey Pines. I played quite a few golf courses in
San Diego. Wow.
I haven't golfed in probably 12, 15, 13
Sure.
years, but I used to golf on Mondays and Thursday and fished on Wednesday.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I used to work around the yard, and back then I used to be a handyman. Built quite a bit of stuff around my home.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, what an honor to share time with you. And Pete's been my neighbor for,
I've been in my house
long
for over
time.
66 years.
That's amazing. Yeah, you got that house on the GI Bill, right?
Yeah, I'm the original owner. Would you believe I paid $16,125 for my house?
And it's worth $1 million now.
Just a little over $1 million.
Unbelievable.
And not only that, the payment was $92, and I told my wife, how the heck are we going to pay this for the next 30 years?
Oh, $92. Would you say $92 a month?
A month,
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
God, I can't.
I know something else I want to let you know. I've been around so long that I used to sell the San Diego Union Tribune paper for 3 cents.
3 cents.
3 cents. And the Sunday paper was a dime.
Well, you and I have something in common. I used to have a paper route myself. Amazing. The Detroit Free Press.
Yeah, you used to be able to buy the paper for the month for 50 cents.
Well, times have definitely changed, but man, thanks for joining us again today. That was amazing.
Well, it's nice to be able to say something to somebody.
Yeah. Oh, there'll be a lot of people that really enjoy this and appreciate you. Thanks for your service to this country, and definitely for winning at the game of life.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm an American.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
God
take
bless
care.
America. All
Thank
right.
you,
Thanks, Pete.
Yeah,
All right.
honor talking.
All right. You too.
Have a good one.
So, Luke, this is
Yeah.
Pete. He's
How
one of
old
the
are you?
oldest
You're about 10 years
living.
old?
I'm 11.
11. That's a good age.
One of the oldest living World War II veterans.
Really?
Yes. He's 98 years old.
My grandpa was in Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
He was a
Interesting.
mechanic.
She's a little gal. I'll give her a little hug. How's that? Oh.
You just hugged one of the oldest World War II veterans in the history of the United States right now. That's amazing. Thanks, Pete. Boy, that was phenomenal. Great job, and much love to everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for joining us. Remember, Black Lives Matter. Stop the bullying. Stop the Asian hate. Contact your local and state politicians for any inequalities, for any individual or any group that's being marginalized. Also, everyone, we want to raise awareness for those individuals that are currently imprisoned for non-violent offenses, in particular those with long-term sentences that are disproportionate, in particular to those people in the Black and brown community. And I want to send a shout out to 40tons.co. 40 Tons is a socially conscious cannabis brand, and they're a social enterprise using the regulated cannabis industry to fight injustice, in particular for cannabis prisoners. So check them out again at 40, the number 4, the number 0, tons, plural, 40tons.co, because what they're doing in the cannabis space and being a socially conscious company is truly incredible, and they have my full support. And also wanted to remind all of you, if you're having a tough time, you can always call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and that number is 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. And now you can call 988. That's it. All you got to do is dial 988 from any phone. And they are available 24/7, 365 days. And if you want to follow me on social media or check out other episodes of this amazing Sports Deli podcast or any of my other podcasts, go to my link tree at linktree/Mike Hootner. And if you'd like to support us at the Sports Deli, we'd love to have you either make a one-time donation or feel free to make a donation monthly, either 99 cents a month, $4.99 a month, or $9.99 a month. If you have questions about that, send me an email again to thesportsdeli@gmail.com, and I will send you the link on how you can do that. You can also find it at the bottom of every podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Link at the bottom to support the show. Please check out our website at thesportsdelipodcast.com. Make sure that we continue the conversations with regards to 3 strikes and you're out and mandatory minimums, especially people that are in jail for non-violent offenses. So those things need to change. And remember, gents and ladies, please remember to do your monthly self-breast examinations. And remember, guys, this afflicts about 1,500 men annually, with about a third of those resulting in death. So we want to make sure that we do our monthly self-breast examinations, both men and women. And guys, remember to do your self-testicular examinations every month as well. Until next time, remember, it takes a village. I'm Hootie Hoot. This has been a production of Hootie Hoot Productions. Thank you for joining us in the Sports Deli, where everyone deserves a seat at the table. Remember, it takes a village. Much love, everybody.